party started. Good morning to the next Satsang and guided meditation. Excited to see all of you again. So let's just do a check-in quickly, and we'll start with Nix. The sunny Nix.
Oh. Yeah, so another week's gone by. Looking forward to today very much. I am in a decent headspace again. Thank you.
Good. Anita, welcome.
That's me.
Thank you. Yes, I'm also in a good space and was looking forward to my Sunday meditation. Thank you.
Good. Nikki.
Not in such a great space. I've just had a lot of pain, and I can normally separate it from my mood for quite a long time, but it's finally hit the mood. So yeah, battling a little bit. So today is perfect.
Wonderful. Welcome, and sorry. Vanessa. Sign language vir ons. Ek sê jou boodskap lees vir hulle as jy klaar geteken, okay? Barbara.
Yeah, I'm good as well. Had a nice week. Happy. Good weather. Yeah, nothing to complain about.
Good. Well, welcome. Denisha.
All good. The week's been going by much faster, I've noticed. But I'm in a decent headspace as well. Yeah. So thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome. And Vanessa said she had a good week, getting into reading again. She has got a whole library in her house. She loves reading, which always improves her mood. And I'm also starting to see clients again on Monday. Good. Okay. Play. Why am I? Okay. And Mickey, will you check in for us?
Hi, everyone. Feeling okay. Not that great, but I am looking forward to the satsang today. So thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, me checking in. Yes, it's been an interesting week. There's been roller coaster of emotions. I've had clients that came to see me, which I'm very grateful for. And yeah, so this morning I wanted to just hear from you guys. So what is it that makes you feel human? What is it that you do or can't do that is sort of a basic human need? And I'll start with me, for instance. So for me, it is interacting with people. If I don't interact with people for long periods of time, I become just down, depressed, because it's what I live for. It's it's important. And then also sharing food. I don't know why it's important for me, but to make a nice meal and to share it with others and to interact with others. Those are the two things that I thought of this week that is really important for me. It's like a basic human need for me. And we all have, apart from other things, we all have certain things. Oh, let me just let Maria in. I forgot about her. Okay. So what is it that you guys have been missing or doing that would create... Morning, Maria.
Hi, guys.
Leila.
Sorry for being late.
No problem. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're just talking about what what's up? One of the important human needs that we have, apart from now the normal stuff, but what is it that makes us feel human? That we're either doing or not doing, or that we do that helps us feel more human. The floor is open, ladies.
For me, I think it's my routines, and they're all completely out now.
Right.
So those routines help me feel a little bit more stable, a little bit more grounded, and yeah, they're all over the place. So it's quite tough to rein myself in. And it's funny. It's not that I even need to be outside or in places that I can't be to keep my routine. It's just the lockdown has had that psychological effect that I don't need to be in routine, but I do, and I can't seem to get myself into it. So yeah, I think that's my only, that's what I need to feel like a human being.
Yeah. Mickey?
I actually don't know how I'm going to go back to routine.
That's the problem.
I've been, I start work at 9 a.m. and I wake up just before 9 and I roll out of bed and I go to my computer and switch it on. And just thinking of going back to, an hour's drive from Stellenbosch to Cape Town. I mean, that just kills me.
Yeah.
But I do miss, like if I'm going somewhere and I just want to quickly buy like a takeaway coffee, I miss that, and just walking around and,
Okay.
doing that. That feels human for me. It sounds silly, but yeah.
No. We all have different things that just and it's been such a great it was prevalent in my consciousness or awareness this week. It's like, what is it that makes us feel human? That thing that we need to do, that we like doing, and it's a different for each of us, and there's no right or wrong one, but it is how can we either create it or what we will enjoy the most when we get out of this, whatever this is. Renisha, I'm going to give you a chance now, just a second. I just want to read Vanessa's quickly for us. Vanessa says, I feel human when I'm able to exercise, which I haven't been able to do since early March. When we all allowed to exercise again, I ran a bit too much and injured myself. Yeah, life can overdo. I know. So I'm taking it easy and running a little bit every second day. Okay. But the endorphins are amazing. It makes me feel so good. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. So exercising makes you feel more human and can deal with yourself, all those wonderful endorphins. Awesome. Yes, Renisha.
For me, I'm so used to being on the go. I never had a routine. So for me, I feel like stuck because I need to be outdoors. I need to go hiking. I need to go to the beach. I need to interact with people. So it's like, I've been at home for like almost 2 months now, and I just need to be out. So yeah.
I can understand. Yeah, wonderful. Anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Nick.
Yeah, the things that Nikki said, Vanessa and Renisha, actually, all of those things are a bit of me, but likewise just being in the space, in people's space. I don't necessarily need to hug people and touch them, but having conversations with people close to them, not over Skype or Zoom, or just being in their
Present.
space, in their presence.
Yes.
That's something I'm really missing. And yeah, it's it definitely makes me feel. I love socializing. I suppose that's what makes me feel human.
Yeah.
But the
I miss
exercise
hugs.
thing is key.
I know you get plenty hugs from children and others, but I miss hugs.
Yeah.
Clients come, I get a hug before a session and after a session, so I miss my client hugs.
No, for sure, I do too.
Yeah.
And on the odd occasion now, because we've been allowed to exercise,
Yeah.
just having gone out and met up with a friend to run together.
Okay.
But I feel like as if we, people, I can't give her this hug in public. It's like a weird thing.
Yeah.
So then I don't. And it's like, well, this is just not who I am.
Feels foreign. Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
But now I also like hugs.
Good. Just checking.
My situation's been completely different. Fee, I'm housebound a lot of the time,
Yes.
and my work is all on Zoom. I don't have family in South Africa, so for me, it's actually been the opposite, because I feel more a part of humanity now, because everybody is in the situation that I've been in for years. So now people are reaching out on Zoom. They're more conscious of reaching out on WhatsApp video. So I actually feel very much more connected to everybody else as a for the first time in many years, a normal human being, because now I'm like everybody else. So this whole experience has actually brought me more in touch with me being a part of humanity, because I don't feel like the odd one out. I don't feel disconnected like I did. I mean, I talk to clients all over the world, from Singapore to Europe to the States, from one end of the States to the other, from early morning till late at night. So I'm engaging with people, but it's all business consulting. I have good relationships with them, but I don't discuss my personal life. They don't know much about me. So yeah, mine is the opposite. So what is one thing for a whole lot of people is something totally different for another person. And so yeah, that for me this has actually been a completely different time, and there's been a lot of value for me. It's just managing the energy around it. Is that because I've not been used to it? Now to have energy for doing my work online and doing relationships. Sorry. Doing all the relationships online. Sorry.
They also have something to say.
They also have something to say. I have no idea why. Sorry. So I'll just switch the sound off shortly. I'll mute myself. But yeah, that was my contribution.
Yay. Yeah, with me, I'm sort of the same there. Glad that clients reach out for online sessions now, where in the past they didn't, and being able to touch base with Durban a whole lot more, not just once every 3 months, now on a weekly basis. I'm just loving it. So even Anita said, she said, if we knew this was so effective, we could have started 2 years ago. We've missed out 2 years of this.
That's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barbara, have anything to say?
I actually, this is making me feel human, to be perfectly honest with you. I've dropped all my routine, and I'm a very driven routine type of person. I don't have any routine. The days come, the days go. It's timeless. I do a lot of reading as well, and I am thoroughly enjoying this. I'm not finding it a strain at all. There's nothing about it that I'm finding a strain at the moment.
Yes.
Yes, that's me.
Excellent. Okay. So yesterday when I connected with the group energy, and I decided to draw a card from one of the Spirit Messengers cards from John Holland. And the card that I drew was forgiveness. Now, whenever I draw periodically over the years, whenever I draw the forgiveness cards, I'm like one of those I was thinking of it this morning. It's like those children that you have to tell, go brush your teeth. No, but I did brush my teeth, although it's maybe yesterday. It's like you think you can do it so once off, but it's forgiveness thing is not a once off thing. So the card message says, holding on to resentment or anger is preventing or even suffocating your spiritual growth. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. Act of forgiveness. Let me just do something here. The act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful, and it has the capacity to heal and transform. That's what it says on the card. I'm just going to read the message. So it says, you receive this card right now because past hurts need to be healed. The spirit world is trying to assist you in stepping out of the stagnant energy wrapped around old wounds, so that those hidden spiritual and life experiences can emerge. Once these past hurts are dispelled, you'll be reawakened, energized, happier, and more connected. Forgiveness is about choice. It's not about absolving someone of their past actions. It's a matter of releasing the anguish and torment your soul is having to cope with it. Forgiveness requires compassion, insight, kindness, and wisdom. Each time you forgive, it will enable you to release positive energy towards healthier and more productive endeavors. Every time you forgive, you break the cycle of pain. Forgiveness enables you to be less affected and constrained by the suffering. So you empower yourself to stop feeling like a victim. As those feelings of resentment and hurt melt away, your capacity to love, to trust, and to believe all rise to the surface, and you can get back to loving yourself and vibrating at a higher level. Forgiving someone is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of pure spiritual strength. So that's our card message for today. Anybody would like to comment on our lovely card message?
Would you be able to send a WhatsApp photo of that after the
Yes.
session? It was
Will do.
alarmingly accurate. I've just recently become aware of a need to forgive, and I'm struggling with it. Somebody who's passed, the friend of mine, close friend of mine, that was shot last year, that we dealt with in one of the sessions. I didn't realize up until recently that I'm holding, because I sometimes feel during my meditations where I invite my guides and my soul family, and I invite a whole group specifically, I've sometimes felt his approach, his presence, and I've actually requested that he leaves, because I can't deal with him being in the middle of what I need to do. And it's been a very, very strange experience, very strange. So that's happened recently. So I need to work out how to do that for somebody who's not here, where you can't work through stuff with them. Yeah, so it was very relevant for me because it was quite an eye-opener to realize it.
Yeah. Yeah. For me too, while I was reading it, I realized that section where it says where you've been felt that you were being tormented or whatever. For me, it's been, yeah, been feeling like I was living in torture, and those torturous feelings. And I thought, like I've forgiven, but it's something that we need to do the various layers of, just forgiving a little bit more, forgiving a little bit more. And even the things that has come up on Facebook with others about they can't buy flip-flops in Durban, little things that you need to forgive the government for. Because as I was thinking about it this week, when I read some of the Facebook posts, because Facebook is my only news. I don't have a TV, so I don't watch other news. So I don't hear. So if it makes Facebook, it's my news. And then I thought, I can't remember a time in my history in this lifetime where the government said what you're allowed to buy and not buy, what is necessary and what's not necessary. Because for me, incense is a needed necessity. It's like not being able to go and buy incense is like, it's what I need. And then I was just thinking about others, and I was thinking, so this morning as I reflected on this forgiveness thing, I was thinking, how far can it go? Because it's not just a person, or it can be an institution, it can be rules that get made. And there's a rebel in all of us. Don't care who we are. Some part of us likes to rebel and likes to go against the grain and like to do something that is, just out of what is allowed to, or what others say is allowed to. So there's many levels of forgiveness that we can do, and we'll reflect on that in the meditation as well, and just see where we can. But I'll most definitely send you the message of the card.
Can I just say what I was thinking?
Yes, please.
I've been dealing a bit with resentfulness, and it's not really fair. It's just the way it is. I'm a little bit resentful about everything, like you were saying, a whole lot of things that are, dictated to us by people, which doesn't seem to have any bearing at all. But the thing that came through for me was, I think I need to forgive myself for feeling resentful. I think that's where the starting point. And then, and once I sort of thought that thought, I felt less resentful. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. That's all of your comments? Sure. Then I'll get on to the reading. So I asked someone to pick a number, because I love my book, The Parables of Kryon. And I just want to recap on a parable again. So a parable is a story that has various meanings. It's symbolic. It's to listen to the symbolism. We sometimes get caught into, especially when we have a dream. I think, I guess a dream is also a parable, our own parables that's given to us. But it is, you have to look at the symbolism and the meanings to you and the feelings that comes up for you. So it is to listen beyond the literal, but the figurative as well. And depending on the level of consciousness and awareness that you are, you'll get certain things. On the other level, you get some more things. So it's nice to revisit parables from time to time, because there's so much multiple messages in them for us, and we can just benefit by it. So this might sound like a strange one, because the number that was picked is number 13. So we're going to listen to parable number 13. And it's the story of two farmers. So most of you are not farmers. In fact, in the country that Kryon was delivering this message to, he says they are becoming scarce. The story is definitely for you, however, and carries a terrific, loving message of Earth's changes and the new energy we are seeing take place around us. So let the parable begin. There were once two farmers, two good farmers. Both farmers each owned a crop, and they were able to farm on their own without help from others. But it took all their time, and they worked hard to harvest it. Both farmers were godly humans, and they honored the land appropriately. This created a fine partnership with the earth, and they were rewarded with abundant crops each year, and were able to provide for themselves and for their families. Some of their harvest was used personally, and some was sold at a market to provide sustenance and abundance for their families. They lived good lives. One day, an anointed human appeared in each of their fields, claiming that he has a message from God. Both farmers were interested and listened intently to the message. The messenger told them that they were dearly loved, and that though their hard work, and that through their hard work, they had earned the power to increase the harvest tenfold. It was a gift, and they now had the power within them to do it. In order to activate the new power, all the farmers had to do was purge all the old crops that was growing in their fields. They had to plow it back into the land completely, leaving none of it standing. In addition, they were to search the roots for parasites and fungus and cast out any impurities that they found. When they had done so, they were to reseed immediately. In anticipation of their power, the messenger told them that God was changing the seasons, bringing greater sun and rain when appropriate, and shielding them from drought, truly rearranging the components of agriculture as they knew it to allow for the new gifts' use. They would still be responsible for accompanying the hard work of a farmer, but the new gifts would eventually make the yield much larger. Now it was a time of the year that the harvest of the old crops was almost at hand. Both farmers had tall crops and were ready to be cut and sold at the market, thereby giving them their sustenance for the entire year to come and allow them to purchase the seeds for their next season's crops. Both farmers were hesitant to destroy their current crops and lose their security for the subsequent season. After all, they thought, what would it harm in harvesting now? Then using the information of the messenger later. The current crops was almost ready, and reseeding at this time would not do good at this time of the year. So their thinking went. Any farmer knew that seeds would not grow now. The first farmer consulted his family about the message and asked them for their advice. After thinking over what he had heard, from the messenger, he and his family decided that God would never bring them harm. So it would be the best to follow the message to the letter. Therefore, they destroyed the ripe harvest in the manner specified and totally plowed it back into the land. He examined it for all impurities, casting them out carefully, and then immediately reseeded his fields. The second farmer did not believe the message, did not believe the messenger, and prepared to harvest the crops as usual. Shortly thereafter, the rains came. This shocked both farmers greatly, for the rains had never come at this time of the year before. It watered the seeds of the farmer's crop and deluged the standing crops of the second. Then came the wind at a time that it had never blown before. The first farmer's crops were standing, was just starting to grow due to the rain, and so the wind could not take hold of it. What was left of the second farmer's waterlogged crops stood heavy and tall, and it was easily ripped away by the storm winds. And so it was that the first farmer's crop grew to a quantity and quality and height that it has never imagined. And he rejoiced in his power to create the abundant harvest, just as the messenger has predicted. The second farmer lost his entire old crop and awaited the time when he could align with the new season and again plant the seeds, feeling uncertain and anxious over his new, uncharted seasonal change. Being godly men, the first farmer celebrated his abundance by giving of it to the second farmer. And the second farmer, understanding the ways of the earth, accepted the first farmer's offer without ego or remorse over his decision. Both farmers and their families worked both of their lands until the second farmer again had the chance to plant his seeds in the new season. The end. So I'm going to read you the author's postscript. And it's sort of longer than the parable, because it just explains to us what Kryon was trying to tell all of us. The farmers is used to clearly represent, is used here to represent a human in marriage with the earth, toiling in harmony with nature to achieve life sustenance. In addition, these farmers specifically were independent, able to farm on their own without help from others. And that's sort of also how we've been working. We've been a lot independent in the past, and a lot of people are coming together to help others. And some are allowing that help, because in the past, not everybody sort of allowed help because of ego. So no, I'm too proud, or I won't ask for help. Now people have had to ask for help. So yeah. So we have a setup of two humans walking the earth who depend on the planet for sustenance and who are totally responsible for everything around them. And that is how we live. We take responsibility for our life. Does the scenario sound familiar? It's a strong metaphor for the way most of us live. The farmers represent those of us who are walking the earth right now. The next part of the setup relates to those of us who live in a relative security. Kryon exposes this idea when he states how the farmers led generally happy lives and usually yielded abundant crops each year. This indicates that the kind of life most of us have, where we work hard and somehow make it financially from year to year. Kryon also goes on to reveal that the parable takes place in a free economy where some of the harvest was used personally, and some were sold at market to provide sustenance and abundance for their families. These words are all important, for they place this story firmly within the free economic society. The greatest revelation, however, are the sentence, "One day an anointed human appeared in each of the fields, claiming to have a message from God." For me, how we receive it from time to time is in our meditations, in our dreams. We do get messages. We don't always listen to it. So it's every one of us are always in touch with that source energy, and messages comes through. And when we follow it, it's for our highest good. But when we think, oh no, it can't be, or we talk ourselves out of it, that's where we go wrong, if I can say it. Not that we go wrong, but yeah. So both farmers were interested and listened intensely to the message. This is an amazing clue as who Kryon is actually speaking about. What would happen with most folks if a fellow showed up telling them that he had a message from God? Most would throw the guy out and have a good laugh. Such is the culture we live in. But these farmers were different because they were interested and listened intently to the message. Note that they were not just passively interested, but that they listened intently. Most of you reading this are seeing where this is going. And what Kryon means is that he is about to give you a parable about two humans living in the new age who are enlightened. The parable goes on to describe how the messenger lets the farmers know that they have a change coming. But in order to take it, they have to do something different and seemingly illogical. It is something they have not done before, and it goes against what they have been taught works for agriculture. Look closely at what they were told and what it means. The first one, purge the old crops. Get rid of all the past ways of doing things. That is what is relevant for us now. The second one, plow it under, meaning bury your past ways so completely that they are truly gone. 3, cast out the impurities and the parasites as you plow it back under. What that means is don't keep attachments around, including things in your life that you have always had riding along, but that you have intuitively known are wrong for you. 4, Reseed immediately, meaning start growing with the new energy and the new ways that things are done right now. 5. The messenger then went on to let them know that the earth around them was going to change, allowing this new arrangement to be completely uncomfortable and is there to support them. So as the story goes, one farmer has a lot of trouble with all this since his crop is ready to harvest, and he really doesn't believe everything he is told by the messenger. Kryon keeps telling us that both farmers were hesitant to destroy a full crop, showing that it was difficult for the one who finally did as he was advised. This means that what is being asked of us is difficult. It won't be easy for any of us to truly cast out the old ways. We do things and embrace the new. Even with vast rewards promised, this like a tenfold harvest, it's hard since we can't really see it ahead. Still, I always wondered as I thought about the parable how the messenger of God could be ignored. Then I chuckled to myself when I remembered that in Sunday school, and I asked myself the same question when I first learned about Pharaoh hardening his heart time and time again. When Moses kept bringing big time proof that it was bad news not to let the slaves go. Was Pharaoh stupid or what? Now, Kryon is showing me the same hard streak in all of us. It's really difficult to change our ways and the habits when they are so dear to us. And we have depended on them for so long. In the parable, our one farmer follows the advice. The other does not. Shortly thereafter, both are shocked by the earth changes, rains and winds that has never been seen before at this time of the year. The earth changes are beneficial to the farmers' crops who had followed the messenger's advice. And indeed, his newly seeded crops grew to record heights. The other farmer's crops is destroyed, even though it was healthy and tall when the messenger arrived. The admonition here is clear. The old ways will no longer work. The earth changes are going to make them fall as seeds on the barren ground. And they will no longer grow. Even the most healthy and successful old energy methods are going to fall away. The ones that will be successful are new, often different, and represent uncharted waters. They are also the methods that will be filled with love, abundance, and positive results. Finally, the one with the abundant shares with shares it with the one who did not listen. There's no judgment involved and no finger pointing. The second farmer, who obviously messed up, also does not feel too proud to receive from the one who did well. There is so much lurking in the simple message that it would take volumes to fully describe the wisdom of the new age. Both farmers took responsibility for what they had created, and they worked together in harmony and appropriateness to bring about a win-win situation for all. This parable was also intended directly for the enlightened, the teachers and the workers. Amazing validation for the lessons learned here have come forward in many ways, showing that this parable is not only to be taken lightly. It actually represents a scenario of a kind of change that is taking place on the planet as you read these words. Take a moment and read it again. It's packed with a wonderful and powerful message. The end. So I want you just to share with me what came to you while you listened to this message. Yes, Vanessa. Het jy getik met 'n lees? Well, okay. Okay, so Vanessa's comment on this is, wow, great parable, really resonates with me. I had the same issue for a few years now, where I have an office job which I am passionate about, and it pays and keeps me secure. My side hustle, hypnotherapy, is something I would like to do full time, but I'm just not able to let the admin job go because of the security. I'll have to trust and follow my passion and not have security for a bit while I tend to my hypnotherapy practice. Yes, yes, yes. It's we are given this time to really reevaluate how we can do things and what we can do differently. It's because it's, I can't remember who said today they don't know how, well, Mickey said that she doesn't know how to go back to normal, or the normal routine, or the normal way of doing, the normal way of sitting for an hour in traffic and doing that. Normal is changing, and it is to see how we can make it work for us. What is important for us? What do we want to follow? Because the new is here and changes is here, and we can either go with it or be married to the past, or past energies, or past ways, but that's not necessarily going to serve us or not serve us abundantly. Who else got a message for them, or what are you taking away from this parable? How does it resonate with you?
I think, you know, what resonated with me was the lack of ego. You know, the ego thing. The farmer that listened to the message, he shared his abundance with the unfortunate farmer, and the unfortunate farmer was not too proud to accept it. So they worked together. There was no ego, and I mean, and that I think is basically how everything is going to evolve eventually on this planet. I mean, you know, get rid of the ego, and you think how many things are actually ego driven, hey, in this world. Get rid of it. Everyone accept that we're all the same and we come from the same place, and yeah, drop the ego.
Yes.
And listen to the messenger.
Of course, yes. And that the messenger is usually that a quieter voice in your head sometimes, and it usually goes against all logic, because a lot of things that I was told in the past that I am to do or to follow or to whatever defied all logic, really all logic. But I've been listening to Spirit since I've been doing this work, and it served me well. Sometimes I couldn't see why at that moment in time, but I trusted wholeheartedly and completely. And to say hindsight is the 20/20 vision. So in hindsight, I could see, oh, okay. And the more I practiced this, the more I saw that everything was actually for my highest good.
Yeah.
Yes, we have these ego parts that, or emotional attachments or stuff, and it's not so forthcoming in the changes, but ultimately it's just to go through it. So yes, the ego is a big thing, especially being too proud to ask for help or receive it, too proud to receive it, or want to say, no, but I've listened and you didn't, so I'm not going to share.
Exactly.
The sharing, so that is what I want to start off with this morning, is when I say what makes us human. For me, it is that sharing. It's like when I have made little bits with here and there, and I have something, then making a meal and sharing it with others, giving to others, sharing the time and space with others, that's what makes me feel human. Not just me, myself, I, and okay, now I've accumulated something and now I'm not. For me, it is all about the sharing. The sharing helps us open up our hearts. It helps us just, and it's just, for me, beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
For
Nikki.
me, okay.
Yeah, you.
For me, it was the messenger. How do you know that the messenger is legit? We've had a friend approach us this week with a business opportunity. Lovely friend that goes back to school days, completely trust. It's not that I doubt her, but is her opportunity and her message the thing, the messenger that I need to be listening to right now. I think that's my thing, is to know and recognize who the messenger is that I go with and who isn't. Because I'm open to the change. I can take on change.
Yeah.
But I need to know that the source of it.
Yeah. So use this meditation to ask. So when you're inside and when you're connected, you ask about this for you. And then you go with those inner messages, the inner feelings, that which you are given, and you trust it. Yeah, I do understand. It's especially when you've gone through a couple of experiences, and some have been favorable and some have not been favorable. Then you start to distrust yourself, or and then you think, but when do I say yes and when do I allow? And the same. Yeah. I totally get it. I totally understand. But that is the nice thing, is when we're in meditation and when we connect, we can actually get the guidance and understand what feels right or how to pace ourselves. It's like for me in the past, I go boots and all into things.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I didn't approach it systematically and all that. So now I'm a little bit more careful, a little bit more slow on the uptake, a little bit more, my approach is different. But still, just seeing how to allow and what resonates on the inside. Get the messenger. I want to say, just check on the inside. Cool. Anybody else want to say something before we go into meditation? Okay. Okay, just 1 second. So I want you just to get yourself comfortable as we go into this meditation. And just welcome to this guided meditation. Want you just to close your eyes, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. With each in-breath, taking in the consciousness and awareness that's available to you now. And with each out-breath, release all that no longer serves you, in order for you to be shining lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. Just allow this tone, this vibration, this frequency to go in, through and around your body as you just relax with slow, deep breaths, expanding your lower abdomen as you breathe in and contracting your abdomen as you breathe out. Deep and slow body breaths in order for you to become more and more relaxed, more and more at ease, more and more at peace. Wherever you hold any dishonest emotions within you or in certain parts of your body, just detach, release, and let go of all those emotions now. Breathe it out, breathe it out, breathe it out. Let it go, set it free, let it be. Calling in your highlight and calling in my highlight. And calling in all mission council and ascension councils, all of the light, to surround us now. Calling in the full essence and presence of Father, Mother, God. Calling in my gatekeeper angel, Geishla, for divine protection around us individually and collectively and around this portal of alchemy. Only permitting in those energies, vibrations, and frequencies that come forth in love and light in our space here today. Calling in all our master teachers and guides and guardian angels that work with us and through us and helps us in our journey here on earth. And I want you just to visualize yourself now stepping into the most beautiful garden, forest, the beautiful trees, flowers, butterflies. And just breathe in the peace and the harmony that resides within this beautiful space, the sanctuary. Feel the healing and nurturing energies of nature surround you. Breathing in peace, breathing in harmony. And within there's a beautiful garden setting, forest setting. Want you to venture to the space that is resonant of your heart space, And you move through the forest area, getting to a clearing representing your heart space. And I want you just to see these fields in front of you with all the seeds that you've sown in the past. And with all the impurities, the heartaches and the pains, the disappointments, the resentments, the unforgiveness. And I want you now to work within this space. And I want you to clear all that you need to clear from this space. I want you to work this area. And I'm going to leave you for a while to become aware of all those seeds of unforgiveness, of resentment, of heartache, of pain. Any unloving experiences. Just allow yourself now to do this clearing. Become aware of what comes up for you. The people, the situations, the events that they were attached to, that is also buried in these fields. Now time to let go of all the dead wood, all that you no longer want to carry with you in your heart space. Use this time now to clear. And all emotions attached to those. Use whatever method is comfortable for you. Be creative with your clearing. The people that you need to forgive, I want you just to call them forward and view them one at a time as you detach, release, and let go of that energy and see it from a new light, with new insight, with new understanding. And then let them go one at a time. Just have these conversations with these souls that you need to forgive. Anything that has been tormenting you, either mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, just call it up from these fields. View it with wisdom, insight, and understanding. And then clear it out. Let it go, set it free, let it be. Allow yourself to liberate your heart space with all these low vibrational feelings, emotions, experiences. All the times that your trust has been broken, and all attachments to distrust, and not trusting yourself, your intuition, and the guidance. Just detach, release, and let go of all those experiences now. Pull them all off, up, detach, release, and let go, and clear them from your heart space, from these fields. Clear out all these impurities, all these doubts and fears that was created and attached to that. Let it all come up and clear it from the heart space energy, from these fields. I want you to scan the fields for any other impurities, impure thoughts, impure feelings, be it unforgiveness of yourself for the choices or the decisions that you've made in the past. Bring up all the self-unforgiveness now, all the events that it was linked to, and all the self-doubts that it created. Just let it all go, set it all free, let it all be. Again, I want you just to scan your fields for any other impurities. And then for a moment, I want you to stand in the center of this field, your heart space, and just focus on what you intend to plant from this day forward within your heart space, within this field of dreams. What is it that is important for you that will make you feel more human, that which you will feel is creating your highest and greatest human potential, that which your heart truly desires, without the fears, without the impurities, without the doubts. I want you now to use this time to sow new seeds, seeds of all that you desire, all that you wish to co-create with Spirit. All that you worked on in the past, that you're aware of. Now use this time to plant those seeds. Whatever is most important for you. In sharing and coming together. And helping and assisting in playing your role. Plant those seeds of peace. Plant those seeds of love. Plant those seeds of abundance. Plant those seeds of trust. And when you are done planting, I want you just to stand on the side of the field and become aware of God and the angels showering now your heart space, your dreams, your field of dreams with wonderful, soft, nurturing rains. And you're standing in the rain as well as the water just wash over you, cleansing your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual bodies. Revitalizing and re-energizing and cleansing your energy. As the rain stops, the sun comes out again. And you feel yourself growing spiritually in enlightenment. You stand in the light. You allow more light, more wisdom, more higher understanding and consciousness and awareness to come to you. And I'm calling in your team of light, your highest teachers and guides to surround you now. Use this time to ask them for any support that you need at this moment in time. If you have any questions, ask it now. I'm going to leave you for a few minutes just to engage with your team to receive that which you are ready to receive in this now. You're unsure what to ask. You can just ask, what is it that I need to know in this moment in time? And just wait to see what pictures, images, words, feelings, however the messages comes to you, just trust to just be open to receive. Just allow yourself to receive the download of information that you are ready to receive and integrate it with deep body breaths. Just breathe it all in. Now just thank your team of light for their love, for their support, and for all their blessings. Asking God and the angel for the protection and the blessings of all that has been planted and sown today. from your pure intent, your pure heart space. When you are ready, you may slowly come back into this now, back into your body, back into the room. Feeling deep connected with your own heart, with your own body, with your own life. And just visualize the most beautiful diamond bubble of light coming in all around you. See this diamond bubble of light coming down the front of your body, the back of your body, the left side and the right side of your body, and gently tuck beneath your feet, 2 feet below you. Now visualize a grounding cord, any color of your choosing, which take deep down into the earth, into the heartbeat of Mother Earth, connecting with the core heart energy of Mother Earth, and feel her love and support for you, for being on this earth, coming back up your grounding cord and into your diamond bubble of light. Feel your sense of belonging and the gratitude for your light being here on earth. May you walk in the heaven of on earth, creating your own heaven day after day. In your own time, rotate your hands, rotate your feet, stretch and make sure that you're properly back into your body. And when you are, you may open your eyes. Welcome, welcome back to everyone. So any of you that would like to share what you've experienced in the meditation, what you've seen or messages that you got, or how you're feeling afterwards?
I'll start.
Yay!
As usual.
Yes.
Yeah, all about resentment, forgiveness, and ego. And I was just realizing how much ego has to do with resentment and forgiveness. Because you can forgive somebody, that's fine, and you can forgive yourself, but your ego stops you from asking somebody to forgive you, especially if you think you've done nothing wrong. So that's how I tied all that up. And then I just got a message, Nikki, that she needs to go with this opportunity that has been presented for her. But she needs to completely investigate everything about it. She shouldn't just go for it. She should do her homework and her research and then use her own discernment and her own gut feel. But that was the message I got from Nikki during that meditation. So.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara. Can I share my meditation then?
Yes, please.
It was a very powerful imagery. It was actually a really cool meditation. So I found myself in my usual little piece of forest. And sorry, I just want to get rid of my own face. I hate looking at myself speak. It became quite clear that it wasn't the messenger. It was my limited thinking that I needed to be paying more attention to, because my immediate thought is, she's just one of these girls who everything she touches turns to gold. That's not me. That's not me and Dave. We could never do that. We could never become that. Everything for us is going to be hard and a struggle. So then I got an image of a bit of a weed garden. And I pulled out quite a few, whatever they were, irrelevant or relevant, whatever. I just pulled them all out. Then there was one. stubborn one, and it was my limiting belief. And I pulled and I tugged and I dug, and I had to sit down and rest, and I got back up and I pulled and I tugged, and eventually I eventually realized that I actually could see the whole root system. So I had undug it and I was still pulling and tugging, but it was there. I'd already done it, you know. Anyway, so I eventually pull it out and I throw it in the river and it washes away. And then I start to plant ferns and beautiful flowers, and again, something I'm not good at. These things die within days. I'm not good. And I've always connected my lack of green fingers to my lack of abundance in life. For some reason, there's always been a connection there. Anyway, so I plant these things, and the next thing I look, they've just spread all over the place. And, I first fertilized and I nourished, and I didn't just sort of throw all the soil back in the hole. I remember stopping to do that. And then when I asked what I still needed to do, I could see the ferns draping and all of that. And it was to say not to stop there, to keep tending and preparing the land around that to allow it to continue to spread. And so I think it was all about my limiting beliefs and stopping myself. So yeah, that was a powerful meditation. Thank you very much, and thank you, Barbara, for that message as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the validation is nice. Beautiful imagery, and because in the meditation, what I also got for you is I think your body pains was triggered by this fear and this belief system. So just to watch if that now shifts in the body. Just check out for that. I think there was a connection there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Anybody else would like to share their meditation or feelings or revelations or realizations or anyone? No? All good? Okay. Okay. Maria, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, I found that I went very deep. I found it actually quite hard to come back from there.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and realize that there was more going on and more layers to deal with than I had anticipated. So yeah, I'd like to actually do that again a couple of times this week, because I think that there was, almost felt like I had to come back and I hadn't finished dealing with stuff. So it was very interesting for me. Very, very interesting. Unfinished though.
Okay.
Great start.
Yeah.
Great start.
Yeah. Last week, Anita also said something. That meditation was something that you can work with the whole week. I wasn't sure I never know what we're going to do in meditation. I don't pre-plan the meditations. I go with whatever comes up and whatever I'm guided to. But I was guided today to actually record it separately on my phone. So the satsang and meditation will be on YouTube, but the meditation separately will also be there. So if you want to listen to just the meditation section, it is there and you can go deeper. And just allow yourself to, because it's something that you can do periodically. As Nikki said, that we have to take care of our fields. The weeds are going to come. The other things are going to come. We just have to make sure that we clear it and we just check up on it, and we have to put our positive energy and attention and focus on there. And what else can we create? Because sometimes we think we can just create this much and we can just do this much, and then we just start planting, and then it already is more than that, and then it's like, oh wow. And it's to have that what else can I do attitude type of, and then how more beautiful can it be, and what else can I add to this? And it's tap into your co-creator abilities, tap into your creator self. I mean, you're the creator. You are so a creator of beautiful things, Nikki. Really. There's just I'm gonna say, where you might have boxed it in, just allow that now to filter to the other areas of your life. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Vanessa said the meditation has left her speechless, which doesn't happen often. Amazing message. I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for communicating on this idea with us. I like to hear your input as well. Nix.
Yeah, short and sweet, but yeah, it was truly amazing. And again, likewise, it's not that it wasn't necessarily unfinished, but it was so good that I didn't want to come out. Hence why I want to go back in this week.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have no doubt there probably is a lot more, but I didn't necessarily get that feeling, but it was just so amazing. So just a good place to be. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Alrighty. Is that everyone? Okay. I wish you all the most magical and beautiful week. Thank you for joining me, and bless you all. Okay. Lots of love.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
Bye.